So this afternoon, we are going to do a little introduction to tapping. With our tapping model, the concept of it is we want to help the horse learn to rewire their response to stress. Normally, a person or a horse's response to stress is to go to flight, fight, or freeze. And we want our horses to learn to go to relaxation or connection in response to stress. So we're going to start out with what we perceive as very low amounts of stress, and we're going to build those levels of stress up a little bit by a little bit by a little bit until the horse has got a coping mechanism established for stress, that whenever they feel stressed, whether they're in the ring, whether they're tied to the trailer, whether they're inside of the trailer, whether they're in the pasture and a thunderstorm comes up or something, that they can solve that stress puzzle with relaxation or connection. Now, the big two things, like we said, that we want them to go to is relaxation and connection, and understanding the usual first signs of relaxation and the maximum sign of relaxation with the horse standing up, the first signs of connection and the maximum sign of connection with the horse standing up is really important. So the first piece of this tapping model that I'm going to do is I will back into this spot right behind the horse's front leg where we would usually stand to put their saddle on. I call it the friendly spot because horses tend to scratch on each other right behind their wither right here. But this is a spot in which we do a ton of stuff. Now, I'm backing in here because the most pressure comes out of my eyes and my belly button. So the least amount of pressure that comes off of my body when I'm close to something is coming off my back. I back into this spot because me just being close to him adds a little stress. He's going to wonder, what does she want? Is she going to get on me? Is she going to brush me? Is she going to ask me to go? What is she going to ask me to do? And I want to come in and be totally neutral. Like, can you find relaxation or connection with me just standing next to you in as least and as low pressure a way as I can do it? So what I'm going to look for right now is, can he do the slightest sign of relaxation? I feel like the blink is the slightest sign of relaxation. I think the maximum sign of relaxation with the horse's head, with the horse standing up, is his head to the ground, wiggling his lip in the dirt. So yeah, so there we go. So we're getting a big yawn out of this, and what this is showing us is he feels stress with me standing next to him, and he is solving that stress puzzle with relaxation. So the head is going down, we're yawning. Yawning is the brain coming off of adrenaline. He's getting some endorphins. So woohoo, this is Waldo, and Waldo is obviously getting a good bit of the relaxation piece. The other piece we're going to look at is connection. I think that the connection piece, the first bit of it, is this ear flick, the ear turning toward me. I'm going to use that to reward, and I think the maximum connection piece is going to be the horse laterally flexing and really looking at me and doing this heavy bonding with me standing next to them. I believe that when they do the lateral flexion, they give themselves a shot or a release of oxytocin, our love, trust, protect, care for hormone. I think when they do the head down, the relaxation piece. So this is connection. That's the lateral flexion. So that's going to give him oxytocin. When his head goes down, he's going to get endorphins. So now, once I've stood here and he's done some things that are more relaxed or more connected, then I feel like, one, he's not bolting around here. I'm not blowing him up, but I'm also not shoving him inside himself, causing him to freeze. So that gives me a green light to get started. Now he's already doing a bunch of funny releases in his mouth. We're releasing a bunch of emotion and energy here in the mouth. So me just standing here is getting a whole lot done. But what I'm going to do now, I will turn my belly button and my eyes toward him. That's going to become the tap. That's going to become the stressor. As soon as he gives me any sign of relaxation, hi, or connection, then I will take my belly button and my eyes away. We may have to have something to distract him, because Lord knows me just standing next to him is creating huge volumes of relaxation. Okay, so now he's looking straight ahead. His ear is off of me. So I'm going to turn my belly button to him. He gave me his ear, so I'm going to release. That tells him, yes, you did the right thing. And now we're getting a big emotional release in his mouth. We're starting to have twitching in his shoulders. Good, so I'm going to wait for him to disconnect. And he's holding his ear on me, which is awesome. That's holding the connection. This is quite something. Boy, he's getting a lot of relaxation off of my back. So I'm going to wait for the ear to disconnect. So right now in this beginning stage, if he is doing something more relaxed or connected, that's like he's got his toe on base. I can't tap on him, and there he disconnected. Belly button to him, I got his ear, I released, and then we got another big yawn. So I'm gonna wait for the ear to go away, good. Belly button to him, I got the ear, release. I'm gonna wait for him to disconnect again. There he disconnected, belly button to him. There he's blinking, so I'm gonna release. And as I was releasing, his ear came. I'm gonna wait for him to disconnect again. Perfect, belly button to him, I got the ear, release. Belly button to him, I got the ear, release. So we're playing with how little does it take to get our horse's focus back on us. So if we were going down a trail and our horse started to get distracted and looked at something, how little would it take to get that horse focused back on us? Maybe it would be crunch your belly button into your back. Maybe that would be just touch the rein. Maybe that would be touch the horse's side with your leg. But if we can get the horses to focus back on us when they're feeling stressed, that's a great reaction. Yeah, great response to the stress. So now I've got a total lateral flexion. Beautiful. Beautiful. So he is giving us some pretty awesome maximal releases to the belly button and just to my back. All right, so we've got a better position for you. So I'm going to up the level of difficulty since he seems to understand how to, see there's the ear, he is solving this belly button tapping really beautifully. I get a connection with the ear, I get relaxation with the eye. So it's all working out. So now I'm just going to turn and face him, but my posture is going to be turned off. This is going to be our new neutral. And I'm just going to stand here for a second and make sure he's going to be okay with this. Sometimes when you point your belly button at them and they're like, how do I solve it? How do I solve it? We're just going to wait for this. So we're getting blinking. We've got the ear. He has got gut sounds going nuts over here. And see how me facing him looks like it's starting to cause him to fall asleep. Ah, good boy. So his head's going down. This is beautiful. The tapping is going to help our horses learn to solve these stress puzzles with relaxation and connection. And the way that they do that is using posture. So the head down posture helps trigger endorphins. The lateral flexion posture helps trigger oxytocin. So if horses learn to solve these stress puzzles with posture, they can use the posture to solve those puzzles all the time. So I've got to wait for him to pick his head back up and disconnect. Right now he's using the rope. All right, so now he's disconnected. So lift my stick. There's the ear. Ah, that amount of stress was a bigger deal to him. Yeah, so now he's breathing. Now he's got a little lateral flexion towards me. His body's bent towards me. Ah, there he disconnected. I lifted the stick again. Now, you can see that lifting that stick bothers his horse. He sort of makes a little jolt when I pick up the stick. But I've done a good enough job before that he's like, okay, if I put my ear on her, if I put my head down, she'll lower that stick and release. So that helps me know I'm doing a pretty good job of setting this up. So as we wait for him to disconnect, we're going to go through this pattern again. So ideally, you will have done playground of safety before you start this. Playground of safety gets your horse relaxed with you at a distance. It's like it's tapping, you're tapping on the horse with your energy at a distance. Ideally, we would have our horses where they could lay down in playground of safety. Sometimes we're just going to look for a lip licking, a blowout, a swallow. You know, it depends on how much tension they're holding. Once they have gotten really relaxed and comfortable with us at a distance, then we're going to back into them and we're going to make sure that they're okay with us backing into them. Once they're showing us some signs of relaxation and connection with us backward, our backs facing them, then we're going to tap on them with the energy off of our belly button and our eyes. I'm just going to turn my belly button and my eyes toward him and wait for him to flick his ear or blink his eyes or more. We would love to have more, but if that's what we get, that's plenty. Once he's solving that puzzle really well, that's where we are now. I'm upping that stress level. I am facing him and he's staying totally connected because this ear on my side has stayed on me the whole time. Now he's thinking about taking his ear off. I'm just waiting for the ear to go off. And this is really sensational. This horse has got a great connection. So if I were, sort of evaluating this horse, I would say this horse has got a very high connection. He wants to stay connected. He's also really good at dropping his head for relaxation. This horse would be in a really good mood to ride today if we needed to. This is fantastic. So in one of your first sessions back with your horse, if your horse is giving you this kind of really positive, relaxed and connected response, you don't need to do more than this. Beautiful. So see how I raise the stick? I get the ear and the head goes down? That's brilliant. Now, is that the end? No, I would love it if we would get a little more stress going on. So we've got Tommy over here on the side. Maybe Tommy could do something to try to get Waldo's attention. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you could hear that gut sound, but that was amazing. So Tommy's going to do something. It looks like he's got a sound stressor over there. So good. But you see where the horse looked away and then reconnected to me. So Tommy's actually tapping on him with the sound over there. And the horse is like, no, I want to stay connected to you. It feels good when I'm connected to you. Nice. So even when I get ready to start to do something, it's funny. He's like, no, I'm going to stay back connected to you. So this is going really well. Now he's letting go in his feet. That's really good. Horses that let go in their front feet first are usually more left-brained horses. And he's got a little stress and tightness in these shoulders and he just let that go. Horses that usually let go in the back feet first, they're going to be a little more right brain horses. Yeah, so there we got a back foot. That was really nice. And you'll see as I stand here, he starts to seek, there's the other back foot. So he starts to seek a more balanced posture. He's going to seek the feet being square. So now we've got square feet. He's going to seek the front and the hind feet being closer together. So we just backed up one of the front feet. Really nice. Because the posture, he is going from what was more of a survival, sympathetic nervous system shape or posture into what's going to be more of a parasympathetic nervous system. Rest, digest, play, learn, heal, trust, and connect posture. One of the things that we know is when the top of the horse's head, his poll, is higher than his wither right here, his brain can and will often produce adrenaline. That being said, when the poll is lower than the wither, the top of his head there between his ears is lower than the top of his wither, his brain won't usually produce adrenaline. And the lower his head goes down, the more it starts to produce endorphins. When the top of the head is lower than the wither, the brain will start to produce endorphins. All right, so his head is kind of starting to come up. So I'm going to go one more. And he sort of looked away with his eye. We're going to wait for the ear to leave. Try to do something to get his ear. Perfect. And I'm going to rub him with the stick. So it's back up into him, wait for him to be okay. Tap him with your belly button energy, wait for him to be okay. The shake is a whole nother level of relaxing this neck. And just keep trying to grab his ear, honey. Good. Once he can respond correctly to the belly button energy, then I turn around, face my belly button toward him, and I do lift the stick as the stressor. And now Tommy's making the noise, but the horse is like, I know I'm supposed to stay connected to her. It gets harder for him to get his... So you can try harder to get it, because we got to... So it's lift the stick, rub with the stick, then I may tap on him with the stick. So we're going to wait. All right, there. All right, this is good. So there I gave him a little tap. And as soon as I tapped a little, his head goes right back down. So he's understanding this puzzle, that when he does the right answer, responds with more relaxation, more connection, you can do stuff. I release. So this is kind of our basic conditioned response. And this is what we're looking for in our conditioned response. So when would we quit on this horse for his first day? We would quit when he does something just a little more relaxed and connected. So right now, we're going to try to get his ears. If he licks his lips, that would be more than he's doing right now. I rubbed his leg. I'd like his lips or blowing out. But whatever your horse can do easily, you want to get just a little bit more. Good. If a horse is having trouble putting its head down, that could be enough that day. It's just, we're going to try to find something that's kind of difficult for this horse, and we're going to reward on that. And the reward would be to switch to doing something different or putting him away. So this I love. He started to cross his front feet a little bit. And do you see he's bothered? Tommy's picking this umbrella up and down. And it grabs his ears, but he's like, I will not put my head all the way up. And he just keeps coming back to me. So this is really nice. There we were getting some deep breathing. And I'm just going to wait for something that seems more relaxed. Good. He's solving this puzzle great. Maybe dance up and down, do something different that's gonna help us have a little more stress so that we can find just that little bit more of relaxation. Good. Nice. There, so there he released his back foot. Ah, so we're getting a paw. Now we have crossed front feet. So I'm going to take my belly button away from him because that paw and the cross front feet were a much higher level of relaxation than we were already getting. Now he's sort of leaving, so I'm going to help him get back. Good. But when he got to this better place, if I wasn't talking, then I could just totally switch gears. We could leave, we could do something else. But that helps him understand that I am listening to him. He gets to kind of call the shots in as far as telling me when he's okay and when he's not okay. And he finds out that I will actually listen. Awesome job. This really builds our relationship. So he knows next time I come out here, if he is relaxed and connected, that it really feels good. The endorphins and the oxytocin become part of the reward system. Awesome. This is beautiful. All right, so we'll just let him finish up this piece of what he's doing because he really hasn't licked his lips yet, has he? All right, so I'm going to move a little further away from him just to give him a little more space. Crossing the front feet is significant because horses do that if they're really stuck in their withers and their shoulders. I would love it if he could, well, pawing with the other foot is a huge deal. Would love it if you could make it to licking your lips. This is really nice. So he's letting the stress of the umbrella over there tap on him, and he looks at it, then he solves it with head down, paw. So now we're starting to see how this horse is transitioning from me creating stress to Tommy creating stress. So there he licked his lips, we got a lip wiggle in the dirt. He sort of acts like he might think about laying down, so I don't want to interrupt him because I would love it. This horse really doesn't let go enough to lay down on the rope. I think he's done it once, maybe. He's a very high leadership quotient horse, and for him to let go enough to seek the ground, holy moly. This is beautiful. So we could not have done a better job with our tapping today. And I hope this helps everybody see that you can get a lot done doing what appears to be very, very little. I'm lowering my energy. I'm pointing my belly button towards the ground because I just don't want to be making him feel stressed. This was awesome there, Waldo. So what's that? Yeah, this is awesome. You did great. So I hope you enjoyed this beginning tapping. Eventually you would do the horse's whole body, but you got to start at the beginning, get little pieces. Now we're getting this huge crunch. He's contracting his abs, like pulling his belly button in. That is the main muscle of parasympathetic nervous system, transverse abdominis. And when horses start crunching that belly button, yay, they want to get into the rest, digest, play, learn, heal, trust, connect, parasympathetic nervous system. I'm going to encourage him to move just enough that maybe you can see it. Well, he's actually thinking about laying down. But Jen, if you can try to focus in on like this belly line, I would love for them to see that crunching belly because he was not doing that when we started. I'm going to try to move him. I don't know if you can see it from there. Good boy. You are a good boy. I'm going to offer connection back to him. You are the best horse. You are the best horse. You're the best horse. And I can't tell if he's still breathing and crunching that. Can you see the heavy breathing in his sides? It's just when the horses experience this endorphin release, it feels so much better to them than tension and adrenaline and cortisol. They start wanting to find that. They start breathing deeper to try to trigger that endorphin release, trigger that parasympathetic nervous system, stimulate that vagus nerve. And he's like, wow, I'm loving this. So a horse that was really stuck and resisting leading down the hill, which I know you saw before we began, look at how much, beautiful, how much relaxation, how much we were able to change that stress response with the ring. He was bothered by the ring before we ever headed down the hill. And this will go a long way towards making him, or helping him, be peaceful and happy in his riding down here. Awesome job. We love you.